Guys, his hair was awful, not gonna lie. He needed a much needed refresh. He went from like an 8 out of 10 to, I'd say like a 15 out of 10 after this haircut, for sure. And that was all because of me, you know, because of these hands. We cut some damn hair today. We used some scissors, we used some clippers, we snipped, we snapped. Yeah, you ever see LeBron bicep curl, bro? We cut some hair, we faded. Energy was low, I just woke up, haven't eaten yet, but LeBron's here. Iced coffee. Iced coffee's here. I got glasses on now. He came in a boy and he left a man. Good, yo. Jeez. You know, not everyone can pull this style off. But lucky for my client, he's in the hands of the greatest barber of all time. I might be tweaking, bro, to be honest. Hello, my name is BRIANNOIR, and today we're transforming my client. I really hope you learned something from this video.
I'm ready. This means that I'm ready.
So step one when doing a haircut like this is, you know, most of my haircuts, I usually start with cutting the top. How much are we cutting off the top? I do that to set, you know, the foundation of the haircut. That way, when I start to do the blend on the sides, it becomes a lot easier for me to blend the sides to the top. So you really want to wet the hair. I'm brushing everything back, and I'm gonna do a part right in the middle of his head. And from there, I'm gonna comb the hairs down to the side and set my base foundation of the length for where I want the hair to sit. Before I left on my little intermission, I asked you guys to ask me some questions for this video. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can say I've mastered fading. I will confidently say that. Scissor work, I can do it. I'm pretty decent at it. I still have a lot to learn.
A lot of our boys are actually gonna get married soon.
They're all brown or what?
Yeah.
That's why. That's why, yo.
This guy's getting married, and then next year, I think, one of my other boy, but he's older. He's like 25 now.
That's still young.
Yeah, he's getting married, and then.
But as barbers, you always want to be learning, striving for greatness, like this guy. First question is, how many cuts will I review? Bro, I don't know. That is a heavy question. If you don't know, on my TikTok, I review and analyze beginner barbers' haircuts. I'm probably gonna do something for YouTube. And so I'm just setting my base length for how I want the top of the hair to sit on the sides. So then here, now I'm taking this section basically, and I'm just marrying the length of the sides and making sure that the length at the middle of the hair isn't too long. So yeah, I'm taking these sections because we don't want too much overhang. We want them to have a fringe for the curtain bang kind of vibe, but then the rest of the hair, we don't want much hangover. We want it to blend with the sides of the hair. Just making sure everything is even and giving it a square shape to the head. See, like, it's hard for me to explain certain things I'm doing with scissor work. You know, I'm not a pro at it. So don't even listen to me. Just watch what I'm doing. Don't listen to what I'm saying, because I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Here, I'm just kind of feeling up his hair a little bit, like seeing how it sits. I think this is a good length. What do you think? Yeah, because it sits right on the top. What's a little thing that will make fade look 10 times better? A little thing that will make your fade 10 times look better is it's looking at your fade from a different angle. You know, look at it from the mirror, step back, look at it from the front, look at it from the back, underneath. You want to look at it from a bunch of different angles. That way you start to see all the lines that you can create. Here, I'm sectioning now the top away from the sides, mainly where we want the fringe to sit. And I'm taking my number 8 first because honestly, I completely forgot how to cut this guy's hair. And I don't remember what we did last time exactly. And so here, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm starting with a number 8 because I wasn't sure.
Have we done 4?
I think so, unless I'm just tweaking. I might be tweaking, bro, to be honest. Was it an 8 or was it a 4? I don't know. Yes, I use an 8 guard. Who cares? I use whatever I want. But we ended up going with the 4 because he definitely wanted to go a bit shorter on the sides this time. But you can see I'm flicking away from the parietal ridge area so that dig too deep into his head and it gives it a weird shape. We want the shape of the cut to kind of flare out of his head a little bit. What's an important skill when it comes to cutting hair? In my experience, so the best skill you can have when it comes to cutting hair doesn't even involve cutting hair, and that's just being a good person, being relatable, talk to your clients, give them a massage, you know, That I'm sure that will help. I don't do it.
Or any of those type of services.
So whenever I fade, I like setting foundations first. It makes blending from a very short length a lot easier when your canvas is already set very nicely and cleanly. Here, again, this is part of setting a foundation. Now I'm taking my 2 and slightly tapering just around the ear, just around the neckline. It gives it a much sharper lineup when you're doing it, and it gives a nice tapered off shape to the style, to the haircut. Same thing here, I'm starting with my number 2 now around the taper area where we're gonna have our mid taper. Again, makes it easier to blend. We are efficient barbers, we're not lazy, we are efficient. So here now I'm taking my clipper over comb, same thing. Now I'm just blending the parietal ridge area to the number 4 that I just set. And just to give it a nice shape, because we want the length and the parietal ridge area so that the hair on top blends and sits nicely for this style. How can you debulk the sides on a mid fade? There's lots of ways. You take your clipper, take your comb, clipper over comb. You take your clipper, you take your guard, a higher guard.
Cut it.
Boom, flick out of the head. It doesn't have to be too complicated. Just start with a high guard and go lower from there. Look at that shape, great shape. No, you're never gonna see a athlete do bicep curls, bro.
You'll see them do the compound lifts, like
Yeah.
lift, squat, bench, but you'll never see a man using a machine to do bicep curls.
Yeah, you ever see LeBron bicep curl, bro? Here I'm taking my trimmers, and my client wants a deep fade on his beard. Instead of just working on the taper and then doing the beard after, we're here to save some time. I started my fade all the way down to his beard. I usually follow where the ear line lies, or if I want to do a deep fade on a client. And then you take your foil shaver and you just bald it out, skin it out. You know, nobody wants stubble on a bald fade. It's a skin fade. It's supposed to be skin. It's supposed to be smooth. Here now, I'm starting my blend, my taper with my blade open. And notice how I'm not making a harsh guideline for the top. There is a line, but I'm not making it harsh because we're efficient. We're trying to make things easier for us. And then you go down halfway and you close your clipper as you're going down. I don't use all the clicks that I have on my clipper basically. I only usually I'll go all the way open, halfway open, and then close. That's it. Why can I do that? Because I flick a lot. You know, I'm always flicking. Yo, dude, you know what I hate? Paper straws. You know, you got these millionaires flying from one city to another, but it's us regular people who have to pay the price when it comes to global warming. I guess one of the prices we have to pay is paper straws in a plastic cup.
Makes sense.
And here to save time, I'm also starting his beard blend before I put in my next guard. We're trying to be efficient here. We're efficient barbers, guys. Here, I take my number 1, same thing. I have my number 1 guard open and I'm flicking out, not trying to create another harsh guideline. And I'm gonna do the same exact step, but just a little bit higher up. I close my clipper halfway and then I close it all the way after. So with taper specifically, you wanna make sure you use a lot of corner work, you know? A lot of using the corner of your blade. You don't wanna use the whole blade because there's not a lot of room for fading when you're doing tapers. Now I have my half guard. For this, I just start halfway with my lever, and then I close it. And this is basically just detail work now. You know, it's not bad, but I still wanted to lighten up that line, that bulk line. So I have my 1.5 guard start open, and I'm just attacking that, you know, that ridge area, blending it out, flicking. It's not rocket science, guys. It's very simple, easy to follow. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just flicking, cutting, putting on guards, talking. It's just cutting hair, guys. Doesn't have to be too complicated. So here now I'm working on his beard, and I know I just said, yeah, you want to be efficient and do the beard as you have your guard on already. But guess what? I forgot, okay? We forget. I'm human. I forget shit. And so I started off with my number 2, and then I worked my way down on the guards. Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. You guys can do this. It's basically, you're doing the same thing that you did with the taper, but now you're doing it with the beard. You're always combing as you're cutting because you want a clean canvas, and hair moves as you cut it. So you want to reset it by combing it. You should always have a comb in your left hand. Always. When you're cutting hair, you should always have a comb. That is your friend. And I decided to do the lineup instead of going to the other side right away. Why? I don't know. I just kind of felt like it. I'm making sure I'm not pushing him back too much. I switched trimmers here because this client specifically has sensitive skin. He gets red really easily, and my black XO trimmers are really sharp, so I switched over to my other blade. Here, I'm just doing some detail work. You know, there was a couple dark spots I saw. I'm not just rubbing skin here, guys. I know a lot of barbers, when they do this, it looks like they're just rubbing skin. Other barbers might be rubbing skin. Me, no, I am not rubbing skin, guys. No skin rubbing is happening here. And so I did the same exact steps on the other side. You guys can watch this time lapse if you want. I'm not gonna watch it, but it is literally the same steps. And guess what? The back is the same as the sides on a taper, guys. So again, I'm using my trimmer, balding it out, making sure it's really clean, and then I go over it with my foil shaver. Very important step. Some guys like to do a little curve, bald guideline in the back, and I get why, because you want to leave it dark. Me, I don't know. I don't really, like, it's fine just going straight across too. It's all preference. For this client, I just chose to go straight across. So now I'm taking my 0.5, my blade open, and I make my first guideline, and then I close it as I go down. Very simple. Very, very simple. It doesn't have to be too complicated, guys. You're just fading. We're just cutting hair. So then here I take my number 2 guard. It's closed, and I'm just setting, same thing. I'm just setting the foundation for the rest of this taper. And I'm flicking out really, I'm really flicking out where his occipital, I can't pronounce it, but I can never say this word, occipital bone. I'm really just flicking out there. Underneath it, I take my 1.5 guard open, and I'm just flicking out that line, fading, and then I close it. It's, you know, guys, it's not that hard. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. You guys are very capable. Here, I take my 1 guard. I start with it open, lever open. I'm just flicking out that line. It's mostly gone, but I just want to go through the steps to make sure that the line is gone. And so, yeah, same thing. I close it as I go down on the fade. And then guess what, guys? Big surprise. I take my half guard open now. Actually, halfway open, probably. I'm just using a lot of the corner of the blade. We're just blending out that nice, that last line to really make this blend just smooth and buttery, you know? That's what we want, is a buttery blend, butter chicken blend. That's what we want, a butter chicken blend. And here, I'm just doing some detail work. You know, I see that it's he has a little bit of a dark spot where his head kind of dips, his skull dips in the back of his head. So I'm just freehanding that with my comb. Now I'm just blending. You know, there was some bulk that I saw. So I'm using my clipper over comb to just make that a bit smoother. And we're just doing the lineup. Guys, you know, I'm not really gonna explain a beard lineup. Like, it's pretty straightforward. You never wanna go too high on the jawline. That's my advice. You wanna always go at least like a finger down from the jawline, because from the side, if they have a little bit of, like, you know, a little bit of fat here and you lined up too high, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look weird, and we don't want to get weird on this show or in real life. My advice to you beginner barbers, learn how to use a straight razor. You might cut your friend up, but it's gonna go a long way when it comes to lining up a beard. He actually just lined up his beard like a day before he came in for a cut. So there was no point in me even using my trimmer to line it because there was barely any growth. And so that's why I just went straight to my straight razor, and we were able to create a sharp line. Here, I'm just styling it. I wet the hair first. With wavy hair, you want it to be kind of damp when you put your styling product in. Here, I have some curl kind of spray, and I just use my diffuser to dry the hair and kind of style it, because we want this to be a nice kind of lived in, loose kind of texture. We don't want it to look too smooth and crazy, like slick. And, you know, we want to help bring his waviness out of his hair a little bit. So yeah, this is the cut, and that's a really nice shot of my ear. But yeah, this is the cut. I think it turns out pretty good. Look at this. I think this looks great. The styling on top, how it sits. This suits the client really well. Like, he literally looks like a Disney prince now. So you're welcome, Mohammed. The fade on the sides, fading with the deep beard fade, looks friggin' dope. Here's him. I told him to play with his hair, so just for you guys. I know you're liking this part. Yeah, look at that angle. Dude, with the beard fade, that looks clean. I wish that I could do my hair like this. This looks sick. Anyways, that's basically it for the cut. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this format of a tutorial. Hope you were entertained. I hope you had a chuckle, a little bit of a laugh. Yeah, guys, YouTube is a lot of hard work. YouTube is a whole different beast from TikTok. Whole different beast. But I'm loving it so far. I'm having a good time, and I hope you are too. And I really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video. If you made it this far, thank you. This is probably kind of a long video. I'm kind of just talking now. I need to stop.